Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you guys caught the last video of this car, the Hosim X07, then that means you saw the absolutely epic beating this thing withstood at the skate park. For the budget price of this car, I never would have expected it to perform as well as it did, and I'm still struggling to believe it. But that doesn't mean that nothing broke, because a couple of things did break. But the breakages really weren't that bad at all. Very standard, very typical kind of stuff. Nothing actually really broke, except for 3 out of the 4 stock tires. Easy fix, just slap on some Duratrack street tires or what have you. Anything with a 12mm hex that will fit will work just fine on this car. And actually, I believe these tires are quite an improvement to the car's handling. And the slightly smaller diameter will cost it a little bit of top speed, but will also help keep some of that motor heat down. And it's still every bit as happy as it ever was to do a wheelie. The gearing sounds perfect. There doesn't seem to be any damage to the gearing whatsoever, at least nothing that's obvious. Nothing that stands out. Some of the damage done by the skate park does include bending of the CVD drive axles, which is completely understandable and forgivable. That's something you expect when you go to a skate park and bash the tar out of an RC car. And for the most part, you can straighten out CVDs by yourself, or you can just get new ones. They're not very expensive. But I would recommend, if anybody does purchase this car at its amazing $170 price tag, I would suggest certainly look into a slightly smaller tire option. Anything 12mm hex that will fit the car will work just fine. And I actually believe these tires, though they are smaller in diameter than the stock tires, is a noticeable difference. But the difference in quality is also very noticeable. These are much better quality tires. Of course, these are Duratrack tires. You don't necessarily have to get Duratrack tires. Anything with a 12mm hex that you like that will fit the car will do the trick. These tires were kind of fun. They're huge, but there's no foams in them. They are very cheap. They even feel very cheap. And we spun the hexes in 3 out of 4 of these tires to the point that they came off right over the nut. But the gearing, you can hear for yourself, sounds pretty good. It sounds about like it should. No obvious clicking and grinding, nothing like that. I'm sure that's on the horizon though with the way I abuse RC cars. But for now, ship shape, everything's great. So this video is not going to be a real long video, just a quick little follow-up to show again just how tough this budget basher really is. They really knocked it out of the park. There's those wheelies. And with these Duratrack street tires, it doesn't seem to have suffered in the off-road department. It'll still tear right through the tall grass. It'll tear right over these roots and bumps. No problem. So even with the street tires on, it doesn't seem to have suffered any loss in off-road performance. At least nothing obvious. So there we go, Hosim. You guys really knocked it out of the park with this 10 scale budget basher. It puts up ARMA 3S level speed, nearly, almost, very close. It provides rival MT10 level durability. I just noticed another really cool feature about the Hosim X07, guys. You could just swap out the tires for some Duratracks, swap out the blue body for the red one, and pretend it's an E-Revo. A Traxxas representative would probably punch me in the eye for saying that. So there you go, it's also a transformer. And it's really easy on the wallet. It withstood every bit the kind of beating that I put my ARMA Sentin through on a day-to-day basis. Is it as good as an ARMA 3S car? It's not as high quality, and it's obvious in some ways. But the gap isn't that huge, actually, between the two. The gap in the price is enormous. $170 versus $350 or $360 for a 3S ARMA. So the gap in the price is enormous, but the gap in performance is very small. The gap in durability, small as well. I'm half tempted to speed test this car on those smaller diameter street tires to see how much of a top speed loss there is, but there might not be very much. It's certainly more manageable, handles better, would probably give a nice straight speed run now with these tires on, so the loss in top speed really might not be much. I haven't done any prep on this car either. I haven't checked the gearing for grease and the differentials. I haven't done any of that, the stuff you kind of really should be doing. I didn't do any of that because I wanted to see how good this thing is from the box to the ground and on the go. It's amazing. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Just wanted to do a little follow-up in case anybody was wondering about the condition of the X07 after that nasty skate park bash. And the condition is good. The X07 is good. If you're thinking about checking one out, I would suggest giving it a try. I think you'll be as pleasantly surprised as I was. And with that, let me just say, please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, it's not about miles per hour, it's about smiles per mile. So have fun, and we'll see you in the next one.